your money's going out at quite a rate. We're now in a situation where we're borrowing money. The Isle of Man's never really had to do this before. I mean, you've had the odd thing, but this is serious now. Will this affect our ratings, for instance?
No. As I said, we've looked at a number of factors. It will not affect our ratings.
Moody and whatever.
I don't know whether you read the last Moody's report, but they gave us, AA rating.
We used to be triple, didn't we?
We were AA rating, and if that report itself, gave a very solid overview of the state of Isle of Man finances.
Your financing, doesn't it?
And we're very, very complimentary.
That number affects what you get in the money markets, isn't it? Because you're a good lender, therefore you get a better rate. It's very important.
Absolutely. I mean,
and it won't affect it.
Everybody's going to look at the position of the Isle of Man government's finances when you go
into this. It won't affect it, though, because this is coming out now. When do Moody's do their next review? It could bring it down a point or not.
No, I believe actually, it's a robust proposition that we're bringing forward. Right. It's a comfortable proposition, as I said, particularly maintaining the strength of our reserves. And if those reserves continue to grow, actually this will prove to have been a wise and solid
Let's move that on to the next thing, 0-10. There's a massive going on now. For people who don't understand, some people paying no tax, some paying, whatever, the 10%. It's now coming clear that there's a massive movement to bring in a global rate, which would really hit the Isle of Man. I mean, massively. Your budgets and your calculations would be off the scale in the wrong way as well.
No, I think I absolutely have to refute that kind of language, because that's just not necessarily true at all.
It won't affect us?
Well, I mean, first of all, one has to understand the detail of this. To whom is it going to apply, and at what level is it going to apply?
All the businesses who want to be here, and mind you, of course, they're talking about very high end ones, aren't they, initially?
The turnovers have to be significant.
Yeah, but it's a start
is my
of
understanding,
change, isn't it?
and there has to be quite a lot of detail added.
It is the beginning of a potential sort of. I mean, Ireland's not going to be happy about it, and Luxembourg, so we know that's going to be issues anyway. And there's many other countries that aren't going to be happy about it. But I'm trying to get through to you that there's always that potential now that what you've seen as the low-hung fruit, because they're here, those sort of businesses do like the 0-10, do they not? You have got a fair bit coming in, do you not?
Well, I'm not saying, I mean, in the past, our corporate rate of tax has been a key selling point for the Isle of Man. I still believe our rates of taxation will be a selling point for the Isle of Man, but one has to understand, of course, the detail around this, and that's still not very clear at the moment, Paul. I mean, there's a big talk of a headline rate. It's not clear at the moment.
21%?
15% at the moment.
Well,
various figures bandied around, but it's about 15% if the press are to be believed.
Right.
But as I said, it's not clear as to how that will apply, and also one has to look below, the headlines to understand the proper detail of that. But the island, as I said, has got plenty of substance in its businesses now. If this is a global minimum rate of tax, then it is a level playing field, and the island will, look carefully in a new economic strategy at what its key criteria is now going to be to attract businesses if that headline rate comes in.
Are you comfortable then about that?
Well, we're doing a piece of work with KPMG, have been appointed to assist us with that. As part of that work, we are also doing some analysis around corporate rates of tax. So we are paying close attention to this, and we'll have much better analysis and view on that in the next few months.
And just finish this off. This is a loan. I mean, do you just pay it back, or you got bonds being issued? How does it work? Keep it in simple language for me.
Well, let's keep it in as a debt issue. We basically will go to the market. We will raise.
They make you a cheque, and then you owe so much money.
Well, the investors will come along. Mm-hmm. They will determine a long-term interest rate, a fixed interest rate. The government will collect that money, and effectively, the long and short of it is, £80 million of that will go to the steam packet for their new ship, and we will have 320 of it will be for our investment purposes in long-term capital infrastructure projects.
How long the loans for then? I mean, the money you borrow.
Well, that again depends.
What would you like?
Well, it depends what the market
What's
determines
good for you? 30
at the time.
years, 40 years, 50 years?
I don't want to get into a very subjective conversation, Paul, because this is where it gets a bit more complicated.
Because it's piling debt on the next generation.
That's where. Well, I think what you have to remember is, I've said all along, this is refinancing. So this debt already exists, right? I think it's very important to understand this is not necessarily new debt. A small element of it is. But this is not new debt. This already exists, and one way or the other will have to be repaid. So this refinancing, so that's why I say when it's a strong platform, this is not a new debt issue. This is not government going out without a plan to repay this.
You need to sign off on this. I'm trusting it has to go to Tynwald, is it, for approval?
Yeah, so we will go to Tynwald in June. Tynwald approve effectively the broad principles.
They've had a briefing already. What was it like?
They did, yeah. They've had a briefing. They've got questions, same as you will have questions. They want to understand, what is the basis for this? What are the repayment plans? As I've said, those repayment plans are clear. That's very important, and it's very important to really recognise the vast majority of this is effectively existing debt that the government is consolidating into one debt issue. Which makes a huge amount of sense to do when you look at all the market conditions.